when I first got here, the Wi-Fi was bad. I was getting like 2 megabytes a second. And I was like, this ain't gonna work. So the host of the Airbnb was like, go get this SIM card and I'll pay you back. And so I did it. Same thing. I think it's like a, what do you say, Wi-Fi dead zone. Sorry, I'm trying to watch my stream here to see what's going on. Anyway, so I was like, dude, still didn't work. So he pulled up. Oh, got the wrong. Whoopsies. There we go. I'm sorry. Anyways, he pulled up with a fiber optic guy, and they just put this thing in. I don't know, like the actual wireless speed seems to be about 40 megabytes a second, but when I'm hardwired, it's like throttled like 700 megabytes a second. So I was like, damn. But I'm trying the Wi-Fi because I was wanting to live stream and I got a lot of video calls to do and stuff. So I'm hopping on here to just test it. I don't know if I'll get anyone on here because I know in the States it's like 9 o'clock p.m. So whatever. But with that being said, I just released a new video about my thoughts on social media, and I've been really trying to think about and experiment with like format and how I prepare and just think about creating videos. And so for that one, I did it uncut, and I also didn't prepare that much. I wanted to just kind of hit record, and I was kind of thinking about what I wanted to say, but I just wanted to hit record and just go for it and see what happened. Not gonna lie, I don't think that's the move because I watch back after and I'm like, well, I wish I would have said this, I wish I would have said that, da da da. Usually I have a bunch of notes and I like go through my notes and structure out the video, or I do a blog post and then like kind of format that into a video script. But I kind of don't like going that scripted either, so I'm thinking I'm gonna have to find a balance, you know, in between that. Check out this new mug I got, courtesy of Gig. That's pretty cool, huh? Woo, it really keeps the shit hot. Anyways, so something I kind of was thinking about and I wanted to mention about the video is that I feel bad because I'm like, I didn't talk about the creative aspect and like the stuff I did when I was off social media that much, which was like kind of the point. It was to like dive into the music and making videos and doing long form content and stuff like that. So I just kind of want to talk about that now. And the thing is, I made what I would say is the best music of my life while I was off social media, and I feel like I was way more focused and way more creative, and I made bangers, which maybe I'll play one on here, one that I'm working on, but it was great, and I loved it, and I think I didn't really talk about that benefit and how I think I just figured out a lot of clarity on my journey and what I want to do musically and how I want to approach songs and everything, and it was just good. And then video wise, it's not like my YouTube is doing that good, but I love the long form vlogs that I made. Like I love the Bangkok one and I love the Bali one, and I like the workflow I figured out, and I'm just really very excited for the other ones I'd filmed and that I'm gonna make. And I like that format way more, where it just is less fast paced. And I'm kind of fighting a battle because I can see the retention graph. And so like I can see where I'll just like put in a pretty shot and just hold it for a while, and I can just see people leave the video. And I'm like, should I care about that or not? I don't want to care about that. If I think it's pretty and nice and want to sit there for a minute, I think I'm just gonna do it. I don't know, something to figure out, but it's like stick it to the man. Like I remember before I started doing the long form videos, I saw his creator called Wonderneath, and she posted a YouTube video, and it was literally just like, I think it was an hour long of her trip to like an art thing. And she would just like literally sit the camera looking at the water and like people walking by and just sit it there for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes or something. It's just like, you're just watching this video of nothing, really. I mean, it was a nice view, but that was inspiring to me. And I'm like, I love that she's just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna film this shit for 5 minutes. But it's not that good for attention, and maybe, I don't know. The jury's out, or not out. The jury's out on that. I don't know what I'll do, but I kind of don't want to care about the retention graphs, and maybe I just need to hold it on more beautiful, better shots that people are willing to sit there for. Who knows? Not me. But so far, productivity has been good. Very productivity. Today I have an acupuncture appointment. Never done it, but I sweat so much, and I'm like, fuck this. And I've heard of someone who had excessive sweating, and they got acupuncture and it fixed it. So I looked up a bunch of acupuncture clinics here in Bangkok, and I just hit them up and was like, do you do acupuncture for sweating? And this one was like, yeah. So I was like, run it, because I sweat more than normal people when I'm outside, and just in general. Like I remember I would be at jiu-jitsu and we would finish warm-ups, and we're all sitting there like watching the teacher, and I'd like look around at everyone and like no one's even breaking a sweat, and I'm like dripping sweat. So I was like, that's not normal. You know, and I've always just sweat way more than other people, and it's fucking annoying, especially here where it's so hot. So if I can figure it out, I'm gonna try the acupuncture. What else? About the social media thing. Yeah, it's better for clarity. I feel like my art's better. I'm able to kind of be less distracted and just make better stuff. And I think it remains to be seen, like how successful I'll be because of it or not. Like, it might be one of those things where I was like, oh, I quit social media, and for the first year, nothing really happened. But after a year of the clarity and work ethic and productivity that came with it, that's when I really started getting the results. So I'm holding out. I am reading again, though. I'm reading a book it's called Mind Shift. It's by this guy called Erwin McManus, who's like a pretty unorthodox pastor guy, life coach, mindset coach guy. I've seen him before. He's very interesting. I like a lot of what he says. I watched an interview or two of him, and I was like, are you full of shit? Because some things he would say, I'm like, you know, it's like some people, they just feel like a charlatan, and maybe they're not. I don't know if he is or not, but it's a little weird and a little wooey. He talks about like in his 20s, he like had an epiphany that his life was ruled by fear, and he decided to just, whenever he felt fear, run towards the fear, and that be his kind of ethos from that point, and how much his life changed from it. And he talks about all this crazy shit he would do, but he kind of contradicts himself, because he'll be like, I used to be in these dangerous situations in the hood, evangelizing to people, murderers and thieves and gangbangers and mafia and everything, and I never felt fear. And then he'll be like, well, this guy was in prison, and while he was in prison, he told them that he was going to kill him when he got out. And he talks about how he just went straight to meet the guy right when he got out, went to his house, because he didn't want to live with looking over his shoulder in fear. And I was like, did you feel fear? Did you not feel fear? Or did you feel fear and you went into it, or you didn't feel fear? Like, which is it? You know, so I just feel like he, you know, I understand sometimes being able to, sometimes it's semantics, and you mean one thing or you say another thing, or, you know, when he says they didn't feel fear, maybe he just meant he didn't listen to the fear, and he did feel fear, and he just kind of misspoke, and it's a freaking live podcast, and I'm too judgmental. But he has a bunch of crazy stories, and I don't know, I get skeptical because I'm really enjoying the book. It's like everything I want to hear, and it's really in line with my brand and my whole thing of inspiring people and life can be more of what you dream, and like open your mind and like dare to like get more out of your life and these things. And a lot of his rhetoric is similar. Like you set your own limits and like the power of positive thinking and like all these different things to achieve more than you can. And if you might think you're average, but blah blah blah, you can do extraordinary things. The subtitle of the book is like, you don't have to be a genius to think like one. So, you know, I like it all, and then I get skeptical when I like everything. When I'm like, this all sounds good, and this all sounds like amazing, and like really too perfect, and like I'm like, is this? But he's a very successful dude, very influential dude, cool dude. So maybe I'm just a freaking hater. Hard to say, but I do like a lot of it. So I'm just trying to take the parts that I like. I wrote down each day. I read a chapter and then I write down the things that stuck out to me to help keep a record of it, and then also it helps me process what I read better. So it's not like it just goes in one ear out the other, you know. So, but what I wrote today, I very much like it. He said, if you live long enough, your hard work will be mistaken for talent, and your resilience will be mistaken for genius. And it's kind of, the chapter was about like how character is more important than talent, having integrity, being honest, being trustworthy, having discipline. These kind of things take you further than talent, and talent can be like an illusion. And a lot of times very talented people end up not being that successful because they think everything's handed to them, which I can relate to because I've generally been talented and things have come easy to me. School, learning music, a lot of things just came easy to me, and I feel like it's almost set me back because it's like I underestimate maybe what I have to do to be successful or how hard I have to work or something. And so I got to kind of recalibrate a little bit, I think, and just focus on building my character, you know. So we'll see, but so far the book's pretty good. I think he has another book called The 7 Languages of Communication, or 7 Types of Communication. I don't know, but it's his most recent one, which I kind of would like to read that. I think at least this one's really short and sweet. Like I can just kind of bust out a chapter real quick. Compared to the last book I read, which was Little Big, which I probably spent over 6 months reading that book. Like it was a crazy book, and I stopped reading for a while because those type of books that are like difficult to read and the chapters are long, it's like it deters me, you know, because it's like beautiful writing and like the story's amazing, and like when I read it I'm enjoying it, but it's almost like hard to read where the easy books flow better. But it was an amazing book. Like when I read it, I think, how did someone make this? And like, what a unique way to write. And it's just inspiring and like just so puzzling. The writing style and just the story. It's like a freaking acid trip of a story. And it's like, what the hell is this guy? How, like, it's almost like a weird AI hallucination of a book, but it is old. You know, and the dude's the professor of creative writing or literature at Yale. John Crowley is his name. So crazy though, such a crazy book, and I just go, God damn. But it's really inspiring. Like it's almost like similar to the way Frank Ocean is, his music is, where you listen and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, what? How can I describe it? It's so random, but thought out and unique, and just it seems like the governor is off, right? It's like the normal conventions of how you write or how you make music or what your lyrics are or what the mix is or what the structure of the song is. Like there's just zero disregard for, there's no regard for those things, the normal conventions, but it's all done with a very high degree of talent and competency and good taste and that kind of thing, you know? So it's like, that kind of art is amazing when you just have a very talented kind of eclectic person that just says fuck you to the rules and just freestyles it almost. and maybe there's a lot of rhyme and reason to what they're doing, and they are following the rules, but maybe they choose when to break the rules and when to not break the rules. But it's really interesting, and it's always really inspiring. I always like try to do it. I'm gonna fucking play some wrong notes and like fucking like do something weird, like which honestly the style of music I like to do is in a lot of ways the opposite of that, where I like it to be predictable and generic and bubblegum and what do you call it, white bread, But I feel like with a little mix of weirdness in there, it's okay, or it's interesting. Something to make it interesting. It's like a good example of like a sweet spot with that is like John Bellion, where his music is pretty pop sensible and like your average person would like it, but he's just out there with the mix and with the instrumentals and the instrumentation and the grooves and the arrangement. Like it just gets weird with it. So right now on my screen, I'm rendering out a shot where in my music video, it's called Sunrise, and it's honestly like that. It's like I was just talking about, it's like a really weird music video. It's inspired by my time in Bali where I would watch the sunrise every day, and it was so peaceful and nice. And I kind of using all my VFX skills. I filmed the whole thing on my iPhone, and I just filmed a lot of pretty shots and different sunrises and different things. And I'm kind of just took my video bank that I actually built the vlog off of, because as I record stuff throughout the trip, it was like 6 weeks, I just put videos in a folder on Dropbox of all the stuff, and then once I'm home, I go in and I edit it into a vlog. Well, I'm basically taking all that video and making it into a music video as well. All the pretty stuff, and I'm doing a lot of CG stuff and effects and different things. And so I'm putting in a bunch of CG shots of like it was really cool when we were snorkeling and we see the turtles, right? They're really magical and cool and friendly and like interesting. And so I did some cool CG turtles, and I'm putting that in, and then there was birds and stuff, so I'm putting CG birds and different things, CG elements throughout the video here and there, and then I'm making this one shot at the end where I'm looking at one of the coolest sunrises there was, just this really, really weird, trippy cloudscape, cool sunrise. And then I'm just putting in all the, ants. Like there was tons of ants always crawling around and making trails. So I did some CG ants and stuff. So anyways, I'm putting all the animals like out above the ocean, swimming by in the air. So there's like a giant whale and like a bunch of turtles and the birds and like a bunch of ants and shit. So kind of fun, stuff like that. So we got 34 minutes left on this render, but it's really cool, honestly. And it's coming together to be very special. And the one thing that I'm bummed about is that everything's like 1080p. So the actual legit quality of everything is like a little subpar, but it's not like a big screen production or anything. It's more of like a watch on your phone, YouTube, iPhone, music inspiring bop kind of thing. But it's very cool, very random. It's like that thing I was talking about where I have a lot of like niche, weird CGI and VFX skills that are like unconventional, and so I'm kind of just like using them to like make interesting shots, and like it's kind of random and little trippy fever dream vibes and kind of fun and just weird. And I think it's it's a type of edit and style and way of presenting the stuff that is very unique. Like I would be surprised if there's anything else really like this video and this song, because the song is very, it's like a normal pop song, but it's beautiful and it's very I'll play it for you, but it's very me, and so that combined with the video I think will be really cool. Let's listen. Demo. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it good on there. 4:25.
Yeah, it's nice, but it wasn't enough.
This is just the demo, by the way, so it's not finished.
Yeah, it's nice, but it just wasn't enough in his head. Fear the past in my 20s, going 6'5", lying in my king size wide. I think I'm going nowhere fast. No. Line of sight, shooting past the good times. I forgot about the moment and I waste time thinking that this won't last. Oh.
if I can remember the chorus.
Sometimes it can take a bright light, trying to get my mind right. Remembering the times like summer when I wasn't hollow, when it wasn't so hard to see the path I should follow, and the way the sky would open up and burn the night out of mine. Wake up. Look at the sunrise. Look at the trees. Yeah, if you need somebody to love, how about me? How about me? How about it? Just look up and look at the sunrise. Look up, just take the sunrise. Look at it.
I love how it takes me the whole song to figure out my own chords. But listen to this really. It's Gandalf. I took a clip from Lord of the Rings. I wonder if I'll be able to get away with this, but I've been just taking clips from songs and movies, especially Lord of the Rings, and putting the audio in. But it's Gandalf and Pippin where they're standing there like looking at Mount Doom when they're at Minas Tirith before like the big war. And Gandalf says this like really cool thing about what happens after death and about heaven, and it's really interesting. But he says, then you see it, and he's like, the gray rain curtain of this world pulls back, and then you see it, and Pippin's like, see what? And he says this whole thing, but he says, white shores under a swift sunrise. And then the song's called Sunrise, so I was like, that's perfect. I was like, I gotta put that in the song. It's very beautiful though, huh? And you can imagine the video is going to be just gorgeous. It's just a bunch of gorgeous sunrises and cool shit. And we went and filmed underwater too. I'm floating in the water. Very fun, very cool, very excited. And I think that's about going to be it for this. And then before I go, I will grace you with the final master that I just got of my collab with Selah called, what's it called? Soldier. So good. Sounds so good. I love it. It's so freaking hard for me to get songs from demo mode through to finished and like it when it's finished. Always in the mix and master phase, it's just so difficult to hang on to the way that it feels that I love and the way it's supposed to feel and sound to me, because I'm not a good mixer. So when I produce it, it doesn't sound like radio ready, like very high quality, very good and mixed correctly and everything sitting where it's supposed to sit. So to get everything to sit where it has to sit and sound radio ready, a lot of times things get fucked up and weird because it's like, well, that clashes with this, so you got to cut that. But when you cut that, now this pokes through, and now it sounds different and it feels different. and it's very, very hard to navigate. It's one of the biggest struggle for me in music is figuring that out. Anyways, this shit got through the pipeline to final master and sounds amazing, and I love it, and I'm so happy, and it's just freaking awesome. So here we go. I'll say this before I go. It's inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've watched this whole series like hella times, but I'm always inspired, and I like the fact that I like the Team Avatar, how they have each other's back so much. It's just like till freaking, like they're just day ones, and they just have each other's back through thick and thin through the whole series, and it's very inspiring and meaningful to me. So I wanted to write a song like about that, and it kind of captures the way that feels, and also because they're like kids, right? They're very young. So so when we made the song, it sounds very like Disney or very like Pixar, and it's about that feeling. And I put a soundbite from Toph and Aang in it, where Toph says, "Do you really think people can be friends for more than one lifetime?" And Aang's like, "I don't see why not." So I put that in. Here we go.
When you weather the waves of the sea, your roots grow as strong as the trees. The mountains get moved with a mustard seed by the faith you inspired in me. Ooh, if I could do life with anyone, it'd be you every time. And I'll always prioritize your needs over mine. If anything comes between us, I'll get through to the other side. You're ride or die, a sign for life. You got me. You got me. Where your feet may wander, I'll wander too. I'll get lost with you. Through the dark into the day, in the end we'll be okay. Our souls are meant together. Ooh, if I could do life with anyone, it'd be you every time. And I'll always prioritize your needs over mine. If anything comes between us, I'll get through to the other side. You're ride or die, a sign for life. You got me. You got me. You hold the front line like a soldier. The moment you need something to cry on, you got my shoulder. You can share my life till it's over. The battle's in my head, you're the first line of defense. Ooh, if I could do life with anyone, it'd be you every time. I'll always prioritize your needs over mine, over mine. I know you don't ever draw the blood in my veins to keep going.
Do you really think friendships can last more than one lifetime? Perhaps you are wrong.
If I could do life with anyone, it'd be you every time. And I'll always prioritize your needs over mine. If anything comes between us, I'll get through to the other side. You ride or die, a sign for life. You got me.
Dude, I'm telling you, that is a 10 out of 10 for me. Banger. Love that shit. So good. Woo! Very much in love with that song. I'm so excited. It just hits the nail on the freaking head. Like, for some reason, the idea of it, it just nails that idea and that feeling of like, it's like a childlike, it's like childlike, and it's a sense of like commitment and friendship and just positive team. And I love it. This makes me feel happy. In the verse, it's so nice because it has this progression. When you way away, the sea, like that, but the third time it has a special chord, so like it usually goes. Then right here, ready? The mountains give. Woo! Come on! That shit is fire. This? That's so good. To me, that is fucking good. Very happy, very stoked, very lucky that I somehow came up with that. And with Selah, we made it so quick too. She came to Washington to record one of her songs, and then I was like, hey, let's write a song. I had those chords, and then we sat down with the ukuleles on the deck and just basically wrote the entire lyrics with the ukuleles, and then I sat down and just produced it out that night. And we made the whole thing in probably like really quick, and it was fire. So looks like it got a couple of viewers that popped on here. No commenters though, unfortunately. Well, maybe I'll get a commenter next time. Anyways, thanks for being here. We'll see ya in the next video. Like and subscribe. How do I end this? I gotta do it on here. Oh.